Hello students, welcome to the video class for the subject switchgear and protective device. This is for 6th semester diploma electrical engineering students. So today our topic is high voltage fuse. So we will discuss today about different types of high voltage fuse, and then we will discuss about the difference between fuse and circuit breaker. Okay. So see, the low voltage fuses are used for low normal current rating and low breaking capacity. Okay, used so far for having normally low voltage fuses having low current carrying current rating and low breaking capacity. So they cannot be successfully used on modern high voltage circuit. So therefore there is development of high voltage fuses. So some high voltage fuses are types of high voltage fuses are cartridge type, then liquid type. Okay, so what happens in these type of high voltage fuses, we will discuss one by one. So cartridge type is quite similar in general construction to the low voltage cartridge type, except that special design feature are incorporated. Some designs employ fuse element wound in the form of helix so as to avoid corona effect at higher voltage. See, if this is a fuse like this, and if our fuse element is connected like this, then in case of high voltage there may be corona effect. That's why the fuse element wounds are in the form of helix. This is okay. So in the form of helix to avoid corona effect at high voltage. So on some designs there are two fuse element in parallel. Okay, one is low resistance silver wire and the other is high resistance tungsten wire. So when under normal load condition, the low resistance element carries the normal current, and when fault occurs, the low resistance element is blown out and the high resistance element reduces the short circuit current and then finally breaks the circuit. Okay. So high voltage cartridge fuses are used up to 33 kV with breaking capacity of about 8700 ampere at that voltage, and rating of the order of 200 ampere at 6.6 kV and 11 kV and 50 ampere at 33 kV are also available. These are the ratings which are available for high voltage cartridge type fuse. Then the next one is the liquid type fuse. So see, these fuses are filled with carbon tetrachloride and have the widest range of application to high voltage system. Okay, so they may be used for circuit up to about 100 ampere rated current on systems up to 132 kV and may have breaking capacity of the order of 6100 ampere. So what are the essential parts of this liquid type fuse? See, it consists of a glass tube filled with carbon tetrachloride solution. So this is a glass tube filled with carbon tetrachloride solution and sealed at both ends. Here also it is sealed and here also it is sealed. Okay. So the fuse wire in both ends there is a brass cap, I told you, and the fuse wire is sealed at one end of the tube and the other end of the wire is held by a strong phosphor bronze spiral spring fixed at the other end of the glass tube. So see, this is the one end where the fuse wire is fixed or sealed, and at the other end the fuse carrier or fuse metal is held by a strong phosphor, this is strong phosphor bronze spiral spring, this is a spring, okay, fixed at the other end of the glass tube. Here it is fixed. Okay, so when current exceeds the prescribed limit, the fuse wire is blown out. As the fuse melts, the spring retracts part of it through a baffle or liquid director and draws it well into the liquid. So this is filled with carbon tetrachloride liquid. So when fault current occurs, this fuse element melts, and then this is the area where this is the area. Once the fuse element melts, this spring retracts and some part of liquid is pass through this is the liquid director or baffle, and some part of liquid is passed through this and flow towards this area, okay, fuse element area, and some kind of, and these small quantity of liquid, what it makes, see, the small quantity of gas generated at the point of fusion forces some part of liquid into the passage through baffle, and there it effectively extinguishes the arc. So when there is the blowing of the fuse element, there is a formation of small quantity of gas, okay. This gas produce some force, and due to this force, liquid from this area passes through this director to this area, and once this liquid comes to this area, this helps in quenching the arc, okay, and then finally extinguishes the arc. So this is the operation of the liquid type of high voltage fuse, okay. And then your metal clad is not in your syllabus. Then current carrying capacity of fuse element. So how you decide what is the current carrying capacity of the fuse element, okay. So the current carrying capacity of a fuse element mainly depend on metal used, obviously, and the cross sectional area, but it is affected also by its length, state of surface, and the surrounding of the fuse, okay. So mainly depend on the metal used and the cross sectional area of the metal, and also it is affected by length, state of surface, and surrounding of the fuse. So when the fuse element attains steady temperature, that means at this time heat produced per second is equal to heat lost per second by convection, radiation, and conduction, okay. So at steady temperature, heat produced per second is equal to heat lost per second by radiation, convection, conduction, okay. So heat produced is the I square R, and heat lost is what? It is a effective surface area, okay, constant into effective surface area, because heat lost through this convection, conduction, radiation, all these process are occur in a particular surface area. So this is constant into effective surface area. So this is I square, this is R, is the rho L by A, is equal to constant into area is obviously D into L, okay. That means it is the length, it is the diameter of the fuse element. So I square into rho L divided by A is the pi by 4, pi D square by 4. See, it is the, actually it is what? Pi R square, and in place of R, if we use in terms of diameter, it is D, diameter it is D by 2, that means pi D square by 4. So I square rho L divided by pi D square by 4 is equal to constant into D into L. So here see, this rho, this pi by 4, this L cancel out each other. So pi rho, pi by 4, these things are constant. So I square is equal to constant into this D square is multiplied with this D, dq. So I square proportional to dq. This is the finally the fuse law, okay. So this is the current carrying capacity of fuse element. That means I square is proportional to diameter, cube of diameter, or you can say I square proportional to diameter of radius also, you can say. And by using this relation, we can solve problem and we can calculate the radius of the wire, okay. Then the last part of the fuse topic is the difference between fuse and a circuit breaker. This is a very important question which always comes in examination, okay. So fuse, based on function, fuse perform both detection and interruption function. But circuit breaker, it perform interruption function only, because the detection of fault is made by relay system. These things we discuss in detail in the circuit breakers chapter. Okay, and based on operation, see, fuse inherently completely automatic, but circuit breaker require elaborate equipment for automatic action. And fuse has very small braking capacity, and circuit breaker has very large braking capacity. And operating time of fuse is very small, it is about 0.002 second. And operating time of circuit breaker is comparatively large, 0.1 to 0.1 to 0.2. And fuse requires replacement after every operation, but there is no replacement after operation in case of circuit breaker. So this is all about difference between fuse and circuit breaker. So go through this video and thoroughly understand this chapter, fuse. Okay, thank you.